relatives of some of the passengers who were kidnapped during the train attack on Monday are now in panic as they say the terrorists have contacted them to confirm that their relatives are safe with them in the forest. A family member whose mother and sister also boarded that train but were kidnapped told TVC News that no demand for ransom has, however, been made by the terrorists. He said the assailants just called to let them know that their relatives were not missing but kidnapped and are currently in their custody. Meanwhile, 10 injured victims of the attack who were rushed to St. Gerard Hospital in Kaduna on Monday night have been discharged. The authorities say some of them were referred to the 44 military hospital for further treatment. And in Niger State, at least 7 bodies have been recovered and about a dozen people are still missing after a boat carrying mostly women and children capsized in Guni-Zumba River. The victims had been trying to escape terror attacks on Guni and Kurubako communities in Muya local government area of the state. The attacks, set to be simultaneous, forced the people, mostly women and children, to flee to safety in an overloaded boat which later capsized. It is feared that all on board the boat may have died. And meanwhile, Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello says he is grieved at the needless loss of lives. In the condolence message, described the deaths of the Guni-Zumba River as painful and disturbing. He condoled with the family members of the deceased and the entire people of Muya local government area. Condemning the unprovoked attacks on innocent citizens in these communities, the governor emphatically stated that no matter how hard the criminals sustained their activities, the government remained steadfast in its efforts to end criminality in the state. He urged the joint security operatives to be more proactive in their operations and also directed the state emergency agency to immediately commence a search and rescue operation and also cater to the rest people in the affected communities. And in Kaduna State, armed terrorists have allegedly kidnapped at least 2 persons in Zaria local government area. The assailants were said to have stormed Zaria Low Cost, located at the outskirts of Zaria town, at about 10 p.m. Wednesday night. It was gathered that the terrorists shot sporadically in the air before whisking away their victims. This comes barely 48 hours after terrorists attacked a Kaduna-Abuja train, leaving at least 8 people dead, 26 injured, while several others are yet to be found. In the Federal Capital Territory, a conference of civil society groups and the military has ended with a resolve to foster better cooperation between security forces and the society. According to the organizers, better cooperation will generate actionable intelligence needed to tackle the nation's security challenges. Sifon Essien reports.
It's 2 days after the Kaduna train attack, and there's a dire need for better security in the country. This group in Abuja is emphatic that improved cooperation between security forces and members of the society is a better option in tackling the security challenges the country is faced with.
That CIMICO is a veritable vehicle which will foster speedy and sustained end to the insecurity challenges in Nigeria, as all hands will come on deck to address the touchy issues involved in the war against the nefarious forces besetting the country.
The benefits, according to the group, is that better cooperation would provide a platform for improved intelligence gathering, a situation that will shore up the capacity of security forces to respond to threats.
To galvanize nationwide cooperation between the civil society, the military, and the security community has been recorded in order to enhance information gathering and transmission to up the ante and empower the military and security forces with superior advantage in dealing with the menaces of violence, insurgency, terrorism, and other forms of insecurity.
It's not the first time that meetings or conferences will be held on improving cooperation between security forces and members of the society. But what happens afterwards is the big question. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
And moving away from security stories, the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives has threatened to issue warrants of arrest against the heads of 17 subsidiaries of NNPC Limited. But the agency's chief executive officer, Mele Kyari, insists the affected companies have nothing to hide and promised to produce them next week. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
The Auditor General of the Federation's report at alleged financial infractions by the 17 subsidiaries of the NNPC Limited between 2014 and 2019. One of such was that involving about 107 million barrels of crude, which could not be accounted for in 2018. To answer to the queries, the Public Accounts Committee had invited the agencies several times, but none honored its call. The committee queries the continued absence of the heads of the companies, insinuating they might indeed be hiding something from Nigerians.
They responded that they cannot appear before the parliament except they have the nod of the group managing director. It's on that basis that we invited the GMD to come along with them so they can answer audit queries raised by the General of the Federation.
The Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, is before the lawmakers to answer to their inquiries. He says neither the agency nor its subsidiaries has anything to hide.
NNPC has nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide from Nigerians. As a demonstration of that, Mr. Chairman, the same audited account that you have, we have published it for the generality of Nigerians to see, read, and comment on it.
But the committee says the companies must answer for themselves.
Subsidiaries, they must appear before this parliament to answer the queries raised by the Auditor General of the Federation. They have to bear their father's name. And sir, with due respect and humility, the NNPC is not in a position to dictate to the parliament how the parliament conducts its business.
The Auditor General has submitted the report to parliament that these subsidiaries, this company owned by Nigerians, have refused, underlined, capitalized, refused to do what they are supposed to do. And the Constitution says clearly, take them to parliament.
At the end of the day's deliberations, the committee was able to extract an assurance from the NNPC chief that he would appear before the lawmakers with the heads of the affected companies next week. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Senate has directed all pay TV service providers to immediately review their bouquet prices downwards in tandem with the prevailing economic realities in Nigeria. The upper legislative chamber strongly kicked against the intended hike in subscription fees by pay TV providers following a motion moved by the Benue South lawmaker, Senator Abamoru. National Assembly correspondent Tijesu Adeoye reports.
Nigeria currently faces harsh economic challenges and the impact is felt on a daily basis. Prices of commodities and services are on a rapid increase and Nigerians are finding it difficult to keep up. Recently, a pay TV provider, MultiChoice Nigeria, announced an increase of about 13.3% in its subscription fees. This has led to an uproar among its subscribers as they complain that the hike has become a regular occurrence with no tangible reasons ever given to justify the hikes. Now the Senate is adding its voice to the matter and urging the pay TV providers to be more sensitive to the plight of their customers.
MultiChoice has again raised the cost of its DSTV and GoTV bundles, stating them as follows. DSTV Premium, 21,000. DSTV Compact Plus, 14,250. Compact, 9,000.
There's no regulation at all. These people increase the fees payable on this service at reckless abandon. They do that whenever they like, without considering the service, the quality of service they're providing to Nigerians.
I support that, their fees or whatever, should be scaled downward. And at the same time, there should be a surcharge to make sure that Nigerians also benefit in another way.
The Senate has constituted a 7-man ad hoc committee to carry out a comprehensive investigation into how other countries are billed by the pay TV service providers.
All these things that we have listed, Ministry of Communications, NCC, and so on to do, I think we should investigate them. They should also come to our committee, as well as the operators. Let's, at the end of the day, be able to say this is the kind of pay system that Nigerians should pay.
Nigerians may soon heave a sigh of relief over the hike in pay TV tariff that has gotten the attention of lawmakers. Pay TV providers will soon be forced to introduce a pay-per-view model of subscription as against the month-to-month prepaid model currently in place. From the National Assembly, Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.